everyone. Miss Carrie again today, and today we're going to talk about making predictions from a survey or a sample that you have taken. Okay, so we're going to start out talking about that. So if you did a sample or a survey that is valid, then you can take that small little survey and apply it to a larger group to make a prediction. So that would be like here at school, at Clark Middle School, if you were to survey 30 kids, do a random survey of 30 kids that was a valid survey, like you got kids from all grades, all different kinds of kids. You could apply those results then to the whole school and make a prediction, okay? And when we do that, we're going to use a proportion. So this really shouldn't be all that hard because we've done proportions so much this year that we can almost do these in our sleep. It's just going to be getting them set up right, which shouldn't be that difficult. We're just going to remember that we always do the part out of the whole, just like a fraction is set up. Okay, top number, the numerator being the part, the denominator being that whole amount. Okay, now there's two types of problems that we're going to look at. There's one type that just has to do with, here's the chart that represents the survey results, and we're going to look at it that way. And then we're going to look at some that have to do with percents. And so I'm going to start off with doing 3 problems that talk about the information from a chart. And then I'm going to do 3 problems that have to do with percents. Okay? You don't have to watch the whole video. You can skip through and look at the parts you need to look at. Okay? But I'm going to do 3 examples of each. On our first one, it says you ask 100 randomly chosen students to name their favorite movie genre. There are 600 students in the school. Predict the number of students in the school who would name romance as their favorite genre. So we have our chart, and we're going to use our proportion. We're looking at the number of students who picked romance over the total number who were surveyed. Now, we're told in our problem here that 100 were asked. If you're not given that information, then you just total how many you have in your table, okay, to get that total number. So we have the number who picked romance over the total number surveyed, and that's going to equal the prediction we're looking for, which is our unknown, over the total for the prediction. So for us, that's going to be the 600. So on our proportion, romance was 16, total surveyed is 100, and we want to know how many we can predict out of 600 that will be. Okay, now there are other ways to do these. And if you have another method, that's okay. Remember, just always show your work. But I'm using the proportion because that's what we're used to doing. And so we might as well take an approach that we're already familiar with. So we're going to do our cross multiplying. So we get 100n equals 9,600. I already did my calculations, so I'd have those ready. Then we're going to divide both sides by 100. And remember, we can take a 0 for 0. So we get 96. Whoops, not 960, sorry. 96 students. Okay? All right, so that's the first one. Okay, so on number 2, you ask 125 randomly chosen people at a stadium to name their favorite stadium food. There are about 5,000 people in the stadium. Predict the number of people in the stadium whose favorite food is nachos. Okay, so we have our chart here of all the foods that they surveyed that are, I guess, at the stadium. And we're looking at nachos. So we're going to want this number. And then, so based on our proportion, we're going to have the number of nachos, which is 56. Over the total that were in our survey. And we're told that that's 125. Again, if you're not given that number, just add all your numbers in your chart together to get it. So we have 125. The prediction, that's the part we don't know. Use a variable there. Use whichever variable you want. And the total people at the stadium is 5,000. Okay, so nachos over the total surveyed. The part we're looking for, the prediction over the total people in the stadium. So we're going to cross multiply. 56 times 5,000 is 280,000. And by the way, make sure you're using a calculator on these problems. This is not a mental math event, okay? Use your calculator. So divide both sides by the 125. And you should get 2,240 when you do 280,000 divided by 125. And it's people. People in the stadium. Okay? All right. So we're going to do one more like this one. All right, so on this one, you may even want to pause the video and work this one yourself, and then you can check it when I go through it and see how you did. Okay, so the students in Mrs. Thorne's class brought photos from their summer break. The table shows how many students brought each type of photo. If there are 560 students at CMS, predict how many students would bring in a photo taken at a theme park. So we're looking at theme park, which is down here. So we're going to have the number who picked theme park, which is 11, over the total surveyed. Well, it doesn't tell me how many were surveyed. So that means I have to add my numbers in my table. So 6 plus 4 is 10, and then 10 plus 18 is 28. So I have a total of 28. And then my prediction is going to be my variable out of the total number of students, which was 560. Okay, so the number who picked theme park over the total surveyed, predicting how many that will be out of 560 students. So we're going to cross multiply. 28n equals, put my paper here, 11 times 560 is 6,160. Okay. Then we're going to divide both sides by 28. So n equals 220 students. So it's predicted that 220 students will bring in a picture that has to do with the theme park. Okay? Okay, so now we're going to look at the problems that have to do with percents. And we've done percent proportions before, and so this isn't new. So our proportion is going to be that percent proportion compared to the prediction that we're looking for. Okay? So on number 4, the circle graph shows the results of a survey in which children ages 8 to 12 were asked whether they have a television in their bedroom. Predict how many out of 1,725 students would not have a television in their bedroom. So my chart might be a little difficult to read here, but this side is the side that's no TV. No TV. Okay? And that number is 54%. This one, this other side with the TV is 46%. Okay? That might be kind of hard to see on the video here. So we're looking at how many would not have a TV. So we're going to use the 54%. So our first ratio is going to be that percent. And percents are always out of 100. So 54% is 54 out of 100. And then so we're looking for that 54% in out of 1,725. That's our whole amount. This number is the whole amount. Okay? All right, so we're going to cross multiply. So we get 100n equals 93150. So 93,150. Then we're going to divide both sides by 100. So 93,150 divided by 100 is 931.5. You can leave that 0 off if you want. And we're talking about students or children. That's probably a typo on mine. It probably should have been children there, but you get the idea. Children. We'll make that children. Okay, so can you have half of a child? Probably not, right? So we need to round this. And so since it's 5 or more, we're going to bring that up. So it would be 932 children who would probably not have a TV in their bedroom. Okay, so the percent ones are pretty easy to do. Okay, so for the next one, that's a percent. A survey found that 85% of people use emoticons on their instant messengers. Predict how many of the 2,450 students at Clark Middle School use emoticons. All right, so we're looking at how many use emoticons out of the total amount. So our percent over 100. This many use them, that percent, so it's 85 over 100. And then we're predicting, that's our variable, goes with our 85. How many people is that 85%? If we have 2,450 students, okay? So then we're going to cross multiply. 100n equals, I'll turn my page. So it's 208,250 when you multiply 85 and 2,450. Then we're going to divide by 100. So we get 208,250 0.5. Can you have 0.5 of a student? No. So we're going to round that up. So 2083. So that's 2,000, it's not very good. 2,083 students we would predict use emoticons. Now, that number is pretty close to our total, right? Our total of students is 2,450. This number is pretty close. It should be, because 85% is almost all, right? You're only 15% away. So that number should be pretty close to the total amount. Okay. All right, we have one more. Okay, so this is our last one on percents. Again, you may want to pause the video and try this one on your own before you watch me do it, just to check to see how you're doing. So a survey found that 80% of teens enjoy going to the movies in their free time. Out of 5,200 teens, predict how many said that they do not enjoy going to a movie in their free time. Now, this one's a little tricky, because if you don't read it carefully, you're going to set it up wrong. Because they tell us that 80% of the students enjoy going. They enjoy going to the movie. But it tells us to find how many do not enjoy going to the movie. Okay? So when we set up our proportion and we're looking at our percent over 100, you're probably going to want to put 80 over 100 because you were given 80. But that would be incorrect, because 80 goes with those who enjoy going, and we're looking for those who don't enjoy going. I put no movie. They don't want to go to the movie. Okay? So we're going to be using 20%. Because if 80 enjoy going, then 20% don't enjoy going. Okay, so on our proportion here, we're going to have 20 over 100. And our variable and our total is 5,200. Okay, so 20% do not enjoy going. We're looking for that 20% out of our 5,200. So we're going to cross multiply. 20 times 5,200 is 104,000. 1,004. 104,000, sorry, I'll say that right. 104,000. Then we're going to divide both sides by 100. So 104,000 divided by 100. Remember, we can do our shortcut and cancel out our zeros. So we get 1040. So 1,040 teens. Teens, that's our word this time. So 20% is the 1,040 teens that do not enjoy going to the movie. Okay? So I hope this little video lesson has helped you with how to make predictions based on a survey from either a table or from using percents. Everybody have a great day.